Hello everyone. Welcome to the Friday class. Last class we discussed about invisible Mahavir has the one in his heart, how invisible Mahavir has only one in his heart. So we discussed the blessing of the same day, that is Feb 6th. Baba said, "May you become a conqueror of Maya and victorious by keeping the one Ram in your heart and doing true service." They have shown the specialty of Hanuman as being a constant server and a brave warrior. This is why he himself did not get burnt when he burnt the whole of Lanka with his tail. Here too, those who are constant servers can finish the rites of Maya. Those who are not servers cannot burn Maya's kingdom. One Rama constantly resided in Hanuman's heart. Therefore, let there not be anyone except the one Father in your heart. Don't even have any awareness of your own body, for only then will you have become a conqueror of Maya and be victorious. We also saw what the Hanuman meant, like pare from without any Hanuman, like without any assumptions. So now I would like to invite my fellow learners to share what if they've practiced anything or their reflections for the whole week. Just open the floor to all of you before Sister joins us. Also, you can put on your videos if you're comfortable, and you can unmute your mic and share. Thank you.
Started. I hope I'm clear. My voice is coming. Huh?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. What you say is like very small things I've started observing. So the whole process of we listening sister and whatever she's teaching makes us very much aware. Very much aware means very minute things she is pointing. Like I remember last week, either in the meditation or in some of the class, it was said like seeing someone's dress, like you just observe someone's dress. Acha, usne ye pehna hai. That also goes in a category of vikarma. So that was very minutely observed. Like so much things we are just unknowingly doing it. I mean, you don't know. So that was very much a touching point. Ki just observing someone's dress also, it's not you are in your soul position. No. So yeah, it's going on. Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Ketki Ben. It was a really nice self-observation. So I would like to invite Sister now, and yeah, we can take our class ahead. Thank you.
Let's start with a few minutes of experiment. Right now, we use the divine sight. Get fully involved in the world of the home of invisible beings. Everything in the home and everything about the invisible being is beyond harm. The one who is beyond harm and is immortal. His entire family is also beyond harm. They are immortal. There is nothing in his mind that can see a potential threat. He is not threatened by anything, any scene or any situation. He is beyond harm. Very clearly knows even the story cannot harm him in the slightest. Story has multiple dolls, billions of dolls. All the dolls are controlled by the story, the script, and the invisible star, he is independent of the entire doll show. Whatever goes on in the story, in the doll show, he has no rights there. If somebody goes to a foreign country, they don't have any voting rights, they cannot buy land there, they have no rights. The invisible star, he has no rights in the story, and he is independent of the story. That is such a huge alokik lottery in itself. His existence is independent of the story. Thank you, Shanti. At some stage, Neeru Behan and Sushma Behan, you would like to share at some stage? And right now, we will come to this passage from Bap Dada. So this passage is from the, I'll just check. Yeah, it is from 2nd of March 1985. The present godly birth is an invaluable birth. So today, the father, the jewel merchant, is seeing his invaluable jewels. This is the quote of invaluable alokik jewels. Each and every jewel is invaluable. If you were to accumulate all the property of the world at the present time, or if you were to accumulate all the treasures of the world, compared with those, each and every godly jewel is so much more valuable. This is for the invisible alokik prince. All the property of the present time, if you evaluate few houses, it can be more than millions, and all the properties in this story, all the treasures in this story, compared with those, each and every godly jewel is so much more valuable. In front of one of you jewels, all the treasures of the world are nothing. Why? Why are they nothing? Billions and trillions of dollars, they are nothing. Why?
Because they are temporary and perishable,
Hmm.
have no value.
Yeah. What else? This was
Going to be end soon.
Drama का है वो. It's from drama.
It's worth not a penny.
We have got the lottery.
Worth not a penny, right? Right. It's temporary.
This is sinking boat.
Yeah.
क्योंकि दीदी ये सच्ची खुशी दें जरूरी नहीं.
They are temporary. They are completely perishable. They are not even real. They're artificial. These are artificial. Everything of the story is just like a set. So actors, they go to a set to play a role, and different things happen at the set. They show a briefcase full of money, and they show rain, or they show some thunderstorm, but it is all made up, artificially set up for the set, for the scene. Actually, if you take that bag of that briefcase, they are fake dollars. It's not even, nothing is real. So these are absolutely worth not a penny. So it is not real. You are such invaluable jewels. You invaluable jewels cannot be found at any time of the cycle other than the confluence age. So they cannot be even found at any other time. Why? Why can't they be found at any other time? Soul is a soul at all times, but the soul cannot be found at any other time.
Because knowledge was not at that time, no?
Mhm.
We are far away from our truth.
Mhm.
Only Baba brings this, bring us lottery.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, the word soul is used at all times throughout the cycle. So the knowledge of the soul, it is immortal, imperishable, all of that exists throughout the cycle. But still, your invaluable jewels cannot be found at any time of the cycle other than the confluence age. Knowledge has been there at all times. The word Atma, the word soul, it is so common. Ruhu, used in right from the Copper Age, it is used.
We are in Girti Kala before, and only this time we are in Chadti Kala.
Mhm. Yeah, still not accurate. Rita, are you trying to say something?
The knowledge was there. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge was there, but the accurate knowledge, the true knowledge wasn't there.
Yeah.
Only at this confluence age we got the knowledge of drama also. Along with Saul, we know what is drama, what is our 84 births. Then
That
we are out of
also
the.
that also exists in many songs, many. Shakespeare is not in knowledge. He said the world is a stage. All our actors, Rangmanch, stage, theater. That language also exists. It's still not accurate. Ajay bhai?
Yeah, experience was not there.
Mm. What is the root? What is the root? Neha bhai?
The intellect was gross.
Yeah, that's the answer. The divine intellect to be found. Even right now, we may say we have the drama knowledge, and so many, share. They had the knowledge. They have done they are listening to the Murli for such a long time. Still couldn't found didn't find this invaluable jewel. It is the intellect that finds the invaluable jewel. Only the intellect. And if the intellect is gross, you may have the knowledge, but the divine intellect finds the invaluable jewels. So, you invaluable jewels cannot be found at any time of the cycle other than the confluence age. The parts of the golden aged deity souls comes second behind the parts of the confluence aged invaluable godly jewels. So this is the first part. This is the first part, and the deity part is the second role. So this is the first role of a BK. So at present, you are the children of God, whereas in the golden age, you will be the children of the deities. Just as the name, praise, birth, and acts of God are the most elevated of all, in the same way, the value of the godly jewels or souls who are the children of God is most elevated. So, God is truth, the most elevated, and his children are also truth. And to know that God is truth, to know that his children are truth, you need divine intellect. Without divine intellect, we cannot actually know. We may know the knowledge, but we cannot know the godly Jews or God. The memorial of this elevated praise and elevated value is even today remembered and worshipped in the form of the 9 jewels. The 9 jewels are remembered as destroyers of various obstacles. Depending on the obstacle they face, they make a ring accordingly and wear that, or they make a locket, or they place that particular jewel in some form of an ornament in their home. Even now, in your last birth, so whether this is our last birth or first birth, whether this is the first role or the last role, how is it decided? Baba just said that this is your first role. A deity role is the second role. Now he says this is your last role. How is that decided?
Because we work hard, we go for self effort here. DT role doesn't have any kind of self effort, it only enjoys.
Mhm. Yeah, again, the intellect that we are using, if the stone intellect is used, the feeling is it's like the um, you know last birth, settlement, and all that. And first birth, it is like creation. You're creating experience, creating time. Obstacles don't appear to be obstacles, but it seems like the last birth, whenever there is a bondage and there is settlement, then files are being settled. So even now in your last birth, you can see your memorial in the form of the destroyer of obstacles. You are definitely number wise, but whilst being number wise, all of you are invaluable and destroyers of obstacles. So you are definitely number wise, but even then, the soul is invaluable, the invisible being is invaluable, and they are the destroyers of obstacles because he is beyond harm. So even today, souls give regard to you, jewels, in your elevated forms. They look after them, your idols, the, the dolls, carefully with a lot of love and cleanliness. Because even if all of you don't consider yourselves to be worthy, to be that worthy, the Father has made all of you souls worthy and made you belong to Him. So He has accepted, you are mine, and I am yours. So Baba has said, the soul is mine, so they belong to each other. And Baba belongs to the invisible prince. A soul on which God's vision falls definitely becomes invaluable through having God's vision on him. Because of God's drishti, such a lovely, such a, sorry, because of God's drishti, such a soul definitely becomes an elevated soul of the spiritual world of God's creation. So the home is God's creation. The home is like the spiritual world. Everything there is God's creation. It doesn't imply He has literally created it, but everything there reflects how He is. So everyone has full rights there. The invisible family has full rights in the spiritual world, in the home of the soul. So because of God's drishti, such a soul definitely becomes an elevated soul of the spiritual world of God's creation. When you come into the company of the Parasnath, the alchemist, you are definitely colored by the stone, Paras, alchemist stone. Therefore, because you receive the drishti of God's love, your memorial exists throughout the cycle. So it is the company, God's drishti. This is a Paras drishti. And so when you come into the company of Parasnath, who is the Lord of Divinity, you are colored by Paras, you are colored by divinity. Whether it is in the form of living deities or in the form of non-living images of half the cycle, or in the form of various memorials, or in whatever form the memorial of you, Jules, it is, there is a memorial of you, even in the form of stars. In whatever form there is a memorial of you. Who is the you? Is the invisible true self. You have been loved by everyone through the cycle, through the whole cycle. Who has been loved by everyone through the whole cycle?
Invisible angel.
The role.
Yes.
Those who are experiencing love at this confluence age, true love, Baba.
Mhm. Mhm. Who said the role?
Rita.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it is only the soul. Baba is talking about, it is the soul who is loved throughout the cycle. And so it is the different form of the souls that have been created. Throughout the cycle, stars or deities or idols, they are all the representation of the divine soul. Even if they have not received love, even if they are not receiving God's love, even if they are not connected, but it is the beauty of the soul which is created in different forms, in the form of memorials throughout the cycle. So there is only one praise of that one who is the truth. In whatever form, there is a memorial of you. You have been loved by everyone through the whole cycle, because the loving drishti of the imperishable ocean of love has made you have a right to receive love throughout the cycle. It is not for the deity, it is not any role that is loved. It is the soul behind this role, the soul who is detaching from the role. They are loved throughout the cycle. So it is the soul who is loved. This is why devotees are desperate for a glimpse of even a moment or half a moment, so that they can go beyond with just a glimpse. This is why the vision of love received at this time makes you worthy of imperishable love. You automatically have imperishable attainment. He remembers you with love, keeps you with love, and looks at you with love. The Baba sees every soul separate, independent of the role. And that is why he is Parasnath. He is the alchemist. He sees each one separate from the role, and he keeps them with love. He looks at them with love, and he remembers the soul with a lot of love. No question of the role in his vision. So he remembers, he nurtures the soul with love, and he looks at the soul with love. Because soul means the one who is from the home, and he is just visiting the story world, and at all times he is independent from the story. But the one who sees it that way is Paras. So the confluence age means God comes and God actually uses Paras. He's the one who is always using Paras, and he sees everyone that way. He sees everyone separate, 100% independent of the role, free from their role. So we will read this again. A soul on which God's vision falls definitely becomes invaluable through having God's vision on him. Because of God's drishti, such a soul definitely becomes an elevated soul of the spiritual world of God's creation. When you come into the company of the Lord of Divinity, the Parasnath, you are definitely colored by Paras. Therefore, because you receive the drishti of God's love, it is not the role who gets the drishti of God's love. It is not any role. It is not even the deity role or the Brahmin role. It is the soul who receives God's love. So your memorial exists throughout the whole cycle, whether it is in the form of living deities or in the form of non-living images of half the cycle, or in the form of various memorials, or in whatever form the memorial of you, Jules, it is. There is a memorial of you even in the form of stars. In whatever form there is a memorial of you, you have been loved by everyone through the whole cycle. Because the loving drishti of the imperishable ocean of love has made you have a right to receive love throughout the whole cycle. This is why devotees are desperate for a glimpse of even a moment or half a moment, so that they can go beyond with just a glimpse. This is why the vision of love received at this time makes you worthy of imperishable love. You automatically have imperishable attainment. He remembers you with love, keeps you with love, and looks at you with love. Secondly, cleanliness. cleanliness, that is purity. At this time, you attain from the Father the birthright of purity. Purity is cleanliness. You know that your original religion is of purity, that is of cleanliness. That is why, because you have adopted purity, wherever there is a memorial to you, purity and cleanliness continue to exist there as a memorial. So whether it's idols, whether it is stars, whether it is jewels, they keep it with a lot of cleanliness, always in clean places. So there is an emphasis of cleanliness because cleanliness means separation, 100% clean from the role. If there is role consciousness mixed, then it is pollution. It is not cleanliness. It is polluted. Then the whole consciousness is polluted. If we are using I for the role, then it is pollution. Whenever Baba says you, they are thinking role. Baba loves you, Baba loves the role. That is pollution. It is not purity. So this is why, because you have adopted purity, wherever there is a memorial to you, purity and cleanliness continue to exist there as a memorial. For half the cycle, there is the pure sustenance and the pure world. So for half the cycle, you are born through purity and sustained with purity. So no one is mixing the role and the soul for half the cycle. And for half the cycle, you are worshipped with purity. Half the cycle, they live with purity, complete separation from the role. And half the cycle, and the souls are creating bondage. The only thing they worship is idols of the soul, and they worship it with purity. Thirdly, he looks after you with a lot of love from his heart. He looks after you, considering you to be elevated and invaluable. This is because at this time, God Himself, in the form of the Mother and Father, looks after you children, that is, He sustains you. Because your sustenance is imperishable, and because you are looked after with imperishable love. Imperishable love means unending, undying love, a love that is not based on the role. So it is never going to end. Unconditional love. It is not based on conditions. It is not based on anything that is temporary, because it is coming from the divine side. Parasnath. His love is not based on anything of the story. Because your sustenance is imperishable, and because you are looked after with imperishable love, you are looked after throughout the whole cycle with great royalty, love, and regard. You become worthy of being looked after eternally with such love, cleanliness, purity, and affection. So beyond time, eternally, one can experience this love, cleanliness, purity, separation, complete separation, no pollution, and affection with God. So do you understand how invaluable you are? Each jewel has so much value. So today the father, the jewel merchant, was looking at the value of every jewel. All the countless souls of the world are on one side, but you 5 Pandavas are more than powerful than those countless souls. Why? Why they are powerful? Some souls are powerful than other souls. Why?
On the basis of their purity, self-realization.
Yes.
On the basis of their experience, on the basis of truth, realization.
Mhm.
The ones who have destroyed their bondages are powerful.
Mhm. all the souls are equal, they are all powerful, but we see this through the divine sight. We see this through the divine intellect. And the one who uses divine intellect is powerful. The only way to revive, that is why Baba says to refresh you, to revive soul consciousness, he gives the gift of divine intellect. So divine intellect makes the soul powerful. The more it is gross intellect, stone intellect, then the soul becomes weaker and weaker because it creates bondages, new bondages in the story, and continues to feed other bondages. To go beyond bondages, one needs full clarity, divine sight. So those countless souls are not equal to even one of you. You are that powerful. Therefore, you have become so valuable. Do you know your value, or do you sometimes forget yourself? So if the divine intellect is not used, then same, there is no power. Then the line is already crossed, and what Baba is saying, countless souls, they are not powerful. We are in the same category. Line is crossed, we are in the absolutely same category. There's no difference. Yeah? Just a different set, different plot, but same. When you forget yourself, you become distressed, because one or the other bondage will start to pull. So don't forget yourself. Always continue to move along, considering yourself to be invaluable, but don't make a tiny mistake. You are invaluable, yeah, but you are invaluable because of the Father's company. The soul is invaluable only when it is behind the line. Only when the soul is behind the line, Sita and Ram are together. They are in each other's company. If the soul has crossed the line, then we can say Baba, Baba. We can, talk about Baba. We can do whatever. Line is crossed. Sita and Ram, they cannot be together. They are completely at a distance. Once the soul is behind the line, and to come behind the line, it is only the divine intellect, Paras intellect. And one who is behind the line, they have the highest company of Ram, company of Parasnath. So Baba says, your only value, your only value is that you are behind the line. The thing that makes you invaluable is divine sight. Because divine sight makes you come behind the line. Divine sight keeps you in the company of Ram. It is not just saying, invaluable, we are so powerful, more powerful than the whole world. No. We can say all of that, we can think all of that, and still be outside the line, still be in Ravan's kingdom. The one who is not in Ravan's kingdom is the one who is using the divine sight. Even right now, if the soul has crossed the line, mixing with the role, thinking it's me, the role, claiming something of the role, then line is crossed, soul is in Ravan's kingdom. So the only thing that makes one invaluable is because of the Father's company. If you forget the Father and simply think of yourself, that is wrong. Don't forget the one who has created you. Created you means someone is unconscious, and the one who makes him conscious. Even a patient says, when they meet with an accident or something, and the doctor performs surgery, saves their life, then they say, this is a new birth, and you have given me this new birth. So it is like you have created this life for me. So the soul has always been a soul, but it was completely unconscious. It was completely outside the line, in Ravan's kingdom. And so when the Father uses divine sight, divine vision, and sees the greatness of the soul, it is like the soul is revived. The soul becomes conscious. And so in that sense, the one who has created you, you have become this, but you have been made this by the one who created you. This is the way to understand it. So Parasnath uses the Parasdrishti. He revives the soul, and now the soul uses the Paras intellect and stays behind the line. So this is valuable, and to forget this is wrong. Baba says to forget this, then again it is wrong. This is the way to understand it. If you forget the method, then the understanding changes into a kind of, if we forget this method, then what is the understanding?
Physical world is real.
Yeah. So if you forget the method, then the understanding changes into a kind of senselessness. There is then the consciousness of I. If we forget the method, the divine sight that starts the entire method, then it is all senseless. And
Sister,
then there is the,
sister, interestingly, people after forgetting it, they also call it is a one kind of mad, bad world, but people call it there is a method in madness, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is said. It is said that way. Yeah. So senselessness, if you forget the method, then the understanding changes into a kind of senselessness. There is a method to everything. There is a method to go beyond madness, and there is a method with which one comes into madness. So it is there is a method, and the method is which intellect is used. Which intellect is used, that is the method. So there is then the consciousness of I. By forgetting the method, you don't experience success. We can talk about soul, we can talk about God, God is with me, but success is not experienced. What is success? Now, if there is the right method, we are using the divine sight, there will be success. If you are behind the line, you are in the company of Ram, there is success. What is the success?
Yeah, success is staying behind the line.
No complaint, acceptance, complete bliss.
Complete freedom.
Nitya Mukta Avastha, ever freedom.
Success
Anything
means
else?
to be happy and contented always.
This is all very abstract. Or what is success? Simple, practically, what is success? It is all correct, but
Seeing
still.
the role separate from the soul.
In the
Distance
home with
between
Baba, in the home, when experiencing the home with Baba.
That is the method.
Okay.
distance
Method and
between soul and
success.
role.
Yeah, that
Soul
is the method.
consciousness only is the success. Meaning when we are using the divine intellect, that only is success, no?
Not what about the drama.
Soul is performing role in complete truth.
Realizing difference between this blue box and the soul world.
When you've forgotten all the small eyes, that's success.
Anyone else?
While playing the role, we are not forgetting what we really are. Soul is playing the role, remaining detached from the role.
Success means to be aware who am I and to whom I belong to.
Success is becoming equal to Baba. Like he is looking at everything in Sakshi form. And I also will be experiencing that.
When you feel like Baba, maybe when you start experiencing yourself, your quality as Baba.
To experience higher consciousness.
Yara and Tara.
सक्सेस इज विश परिवर्तन, स्व परिवर्तन से विश परिवर्तन।
रावण को जान पा रहे हैं और उसको फिनिश भी कर पा रहे हैं।
Yeah, success is only that. Success is what Neha and Anita said. Success is if there is a match between two teams and you want to know which team is successful, the one team beats the other one. In the game, one wins and the other loses. That is success. Which team is winning? So success is over an enemy. For someone to be successful, there is some sort of opposition. And when they go beyond that opposition, that is success. Method is using paras. Method is when you use paras, you come behind the line. The soul becomes conscious. And soul, Sita is in the company of Ram. But success is the more paras is used, the enemy is conquered. Bondages start to get loose. The heads of Ravan, they start to shrink. That is success. So by forgetting the method, you don't experience success. Very simply, very practically, if I want to know am I successful, we just have to see, are the identities decreasing? Are the heads of Ravan shrinking? That is success. Practically to check. We can keep on saying and thinking independence from the road, truth, How do you check? How do you measure it? How do you measure success? There has to be a very practical, clear way to measure success. If the soul is heading in the right direction, we may know what is paras, we may talk about it, but is paras actually being used? Is the soul actually conscious? What is the success? Success is that the story is becoming small. If the story is becoming small, expectations in that story world, they reduce. At a practical level, feeling like Baba. What is feeling like Baba? How do you measure it? So success is something that is visible to the whole world. If two teams are playing a game, there is no doubt about who is winning, who is losing. It's not abstract, some abstract idea. It is very visible. It is very obvious. So success and failure is very obvious. It is not these, abstract definitions. Very, very obvious. If one is successful, the opposition is getting weaker. If one is gaining success and coming behind the line, then there are bondages start to loosen up, expectations reduce. The story world we have, it has lost its value in our eyes. So that is success, measurable, very practical. So we need to really check our definitions and reference points. Otherwise, we will not know what are we doing. We need to be very clear. What is love? What is power? What is success? What is failure? What is light? What is might? Very clear, very practical, so one can check if there is light, if there is might. If you forget the method, then the understanding changes into a kind of senselessness. There is then the consciousness of I. By forgetting the method, you don't experience success. Therefore, know yourself to be invaluable in the right way. So there are many ways to know that the soul is invaluable, but there is only one right way. This Vishwa Parivartan and self-transformation, there is only one way to check it. How do we know if there is Vishwa Parivartan happening? How do you know? Therefore, know yourself to be invaluable in the right way and become the ancestors of the world. So, ancestor of the world. What do ancestors do? Ancestor, they are closest to the seed. Ancestor is like very practically, it is like roots. Seed and roots, they are together, and everything that is given to the roots, it reaches the whole tree. So ancestors, they are, if they are close to the seed, if the roots are, if one is behind the line, they are like roots, close to the seed, and they are then nourishing the whole tree. So that is being an ancestor, being close to the seed. Also, don't become distressed thinking that you are nothing. Neither think I am nothing, nor think I alone am everything. Both are wrong. I am that one, but the one who created me has made me that. So what does this mean? The soul is invaluable, but the one who has divine intellect has made me realize that I am invaluable. So when you remove the father, that becomes a sin. When the father is there, there is no sin. Just like when Sita is behind the line, Ravan can be there, but Ravan cannot do anything with Sita. There is no sin. But if Sita has crossed the line, then Ravan performs sin. But behind the line, there is Ravan. He can be there, but he cannot do a single sin. There is no sin. So when you remove the father, that means you cross the line, then it is sin, because then Ravan can come into action. So when the father is there, there is no sin. Where there is the name of the father, there is no name or trace of sin. And when there is sin, there is no name or trace of the father. So this is a different sort of translation. Name of the father, that is not what it is. In the Hindi Murli, it is like जहाँ बाप है वहाँ पाप नहीं, जहाँ पाप है वहाँ बाप नहीं, something that's Pap and Bap. So it is not just about the name of the father, but it is where there is Ram, there is no Ravan. Where there is Ravan, there is no Ram. So do you understand your value? Then Baba goes on to say, you have become worthy of God's drishti. This is no ordinary thing. This is extraordinary. God's vision is extraordinary. You have become worthy of sustenance. You have claimed a right to the imperishable birthright of purity. This is why your birthright is never difficult to attain. It is attained easily. You yourselves have the experience of being the children who have a right, and therefore you don't find it difficult to observe purity. Those who find purity difficult fluctuate a lot. Purity is the religion of the self. It is your birthright. And so it would always seem easy. Why do the people of the world run away? They find purity difficult. So those souls who don't have this right would definitely find it difficult. So as soon as souls who have a right, they would immediately have the determined thought that purity is their right from the Father, and that they therefore definitely have to become pure. So purity, as soon as the soul knows this whole world is not their world. The physical world is not their world. They are from another world. They have no rights here. Then there is no question of impurity. But as long as somebody is mine in the story, someone is me in the story, then purity is difficult. If we remove I and mine from the story, from that box, then there is purity. So now we will hear from all of you. This was the passage. Neeru, Ben, are you free to speak? No, she's not here. Anyone else?
Om
Yeah.
Shanti.
Mhm.
Um, I have, I'm just sharing my experience. In Gyan, I always felt that I'm doing good, everything is going great, and all of this. But once I have understood through Sanjeevani, when situation comes, when the testing happens, that's when what is the depth? Like today's Murli also, senselessness, right? Paristiti actually taught me what that was like. I kept telling that God is with me, God is with me, but then what did in Paristiti was God with me? Was the testing which happened, and I realized that there's so much of identities to be killed, right? So ऊपर ऊपर वाला जैसे बाबा भी बताते हैं कि big Ravan heads have been okay, you've killed it, but then there are so many family members of the Ravan. So with the Paristiti, I'm able to identify them. That's the great part, right? If I don't identify, I was not able to remove it. But then now I'm able to identify, and it is so shocking that even I had this kinds of heads, which I never thought it is there. And especially the practice of switching off the TV and being what you are and just jumping to Parandam with Baba has got me out of the heaviness, out of the suffocation, um, feeling light, and at the same time, the soul is trying, not soul, but the ego is trying to, with this knowledge also, it's trying to see some benefits, right? Okay, now you're practicing this, so what is the result, it's looking at that. But then again, I am coming back and checking, no, I am not looking at the result, I'm only looking at the accuracy of the practice, right? So it's been great. Like now I understood why Baba says check karo, chart check karo. हम ऊपर ऊपर से टिक बार मार्क करके हम क्लोज करते थे, feeling very good, हाँ अच्छा ब्राह्मण हूँ. But then now the reality check is happening. So thank you. Om Shanti.
The results are same as success. Success is the result, and success is the identity is getting smaller,
Yes.
and eventually zero. you have to check, you're behind the line or cross the line. Even after crossing the line, Sita can say Ram, Ram, and all the time she can call out to Ram. But if she's with Ram, then there is no Ram. As simple. Even no need to beg from Ram. Sita won't even need to ask Ram because she's with Ram. Crossing the line, soul is asking. It's a different kind of bhakti, after Gyan bhakti. Anything else?
In every class, we see the mirror, like the ego is saying, you have done this also, you are doing practice also. According to Ravan, everything is like only the doing these things. But in every class, we can see ourselves or see the mirror that everything is doing by Maya only. So very minutely checking is required, very minutely your attention. It if 1 second we just our attention is goes, then the Maya is take over the everything. So very minutely checking at every point is needed. And thank you for these regular classes. So it's getting checked by every day or every. Thank you so much.
Any other thoughts? Any other final thoughts?
I usually write HAR, hourly analysis report. But the moment I teach my students how to write reports, but the moment it comes to present my report, I falter often. I am not able to write it well. The moment it comes to checking or subtle art of presenting my report, I am not able to do it there. Every time I write, I think that how can I write? Or what should I write? A letter in the form of expression, or what should I do? So I do commit a lot of mistakes there, and I think that I will write it tomorrow. I will check it tomorrow or next hour. I write somehow, particularly I write, but after some time I do, and I forget. I forget and I do like this. What should be done there in this case?
We know the problem and we also know the solution. It's not a different problem. But yeah. We know what is to be done. Yes. Then we will meet again, and till then, just this value. Soul is valuable, but all souls are valuable. All souls are powerful, but accurate value, accurate truth is when accurate power is when actually the soul is behind the line. It is not confused. It is not polluting or mixing the story and soul. Then there is, if it is not mixing, then we are behind the line. And behind the line, there is kingdom of Ram, and it is more valuable than the properties of the whole world, pleasures of the whole world. So we will meet again. Thank you.